So, welcome to this talk show. All right. Don't forget, for those of you who are interested in knowing what we're doing at Lekki, I'm going to be discussing that with you at the end of this service because we're going to have a lot of stuff to do, like talk shows. All right. And some of you will be the anchor. So, Faith, thank you so much for sharing your story so generously with so much vulnerability and security at the same time in the first service. Are there things that you wanted to talk about that you're like, oh, I forgot this, I left this out, or this is important? If you can just, for the next 2 to 3 minutes, share them.
Yes, two things quickly. So number one is that I wanted to mention that that Jesus cares, right? And for a long time, in the Christian faith, we were taught wrongly that mental illnesses or matters of, the mind like that were, showed that God was not with us, or that for you to be feeling this way, then maybe you must have even committed, a sin, on a level. No, God cares. And if you are feeling depressed or whatever the soul issue is, Jesus cares basically. And he said that if we being evil, know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more? And so if you have a child who is sad, or a child who is, maybe even constantly angry, you want to check, you are concerned. You don't go, this child, why are you sad? Why are you always, you are praying for the child, praying over the child, talking to the child. And that's the same way that God relates with us and relates with our minds and the issues of our souls, right? So that thing is a lie of the devil, right? Jesus cares. And so this first thing is supposed to be like a foundation to what I'm going to say next. And this second thing is, so sometimes my mind goes very Yoruba-ish. This thing about, our minds is not so. I shared in the first service how, my rape experience and, other things. And one of the lies of the devil and one of the devices of the devil, and the Bible says we should not be ignorant of the devices of the devil, is to think that the rape or the grief or the betrayal is the main issue. The devil has it doesn't have anything doing with your vagina, right? So the fact that somebody tampered with it, it's what it does. So trauma itself, right, is not even the incident. Trauma is how your mind interprets it. So, and the Bible says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So typically we would say, what are the effects of maybe rape, for instance? Some people with low self-esteem, depression, some people PTSD, some people end up, becoming promiscuous. Some people end up, there are some prostitutes today who are prostitutes because of what had happened to them. But that is, humanly speaking, that is the norm. And we are not the world. So whenever there is anything attacking you, the battle is in the mind. And I'm a very purpose-minded person. And part of that I caught from Kings. And even, in my church now, Dr. K teaches a lot about that. How that it's not like we have been sent into spheres and spaces, and the devil knows. And this mind that you used to bring up, creative ideas and all that is the same. So if he can tamper with it, he has tampered with your destiny. He has tampered with God's purpose over your life. So let's not be ignorant. So yes, there is, and Ecclesiastes 3, there is time for mourning and all of that. There's a time for everything. When stuff happens, mourn it. If it's necessary for your healing as well, mourn it. But mourn it knowing that in the next couple of days, weeks, months, years, I'm not going to be here again because there is work to do.
Come on now.
Right? There is work to do. And when Dr. K, when Pastor Dami was, reading my bio, he said something, and it's like a revelation that I caught recently. I'd always known that, yes, God wants me to to work in this space. But then it occurred to me, and even more so recently, that the attack is on the purpose of God for the lives of people who have been abused, because if healing does not come to them, they cannot function. So whether it's in the tech space, whether it's in the entertainment space that God has sent you to, whether it's pulpit ministry, whatever it is, when you get attacked by the devil, don't be superficial in your thinking about it, right? I wrote something on my Instagram notes yesterday. I purpose over emotions, right? Because yes, the emotions are there for God. God puts those emotions in us. There are signals that whether something is right or something is wrong. You know. So if you are feeling sad, it's because something has, something. Or you are feeling angry about something, something needs to be corrected, basically. Yeah. So while emotions are good, and we are not our emotions. We are not the emotions. They are messengers. They are pointers to issues, and so. Let's. I just want to say that let us be purpose-driven, in our thinking, and not let the devil sit on your destiny and just wallow in. If so, I was saying that trauma is not the incident, it's not the event, but it's not even just your mind. It's how your brain, your mind, and your body interpret it. So. What do we need to do? So, and thank God that trauma is not the incident, because if not, as I was raped then, that would have been the end of me, if the trauma was the rape. But what the trauma is can be worked on. So your body, for instance, if you need to exercise. You need to go to the doctor. See it as this is a mission. It's a mission I have to do. So I'm feeling, so I mentioned vaginismus earlier. For some people, it's not just, mental. For some, it's actually physical. Go to the doctor. Treat it. Why? You need to give birth, don't you? Right? And you need to raise godly children who have assignments as well. So this thing is not, it will look like it's just this issue, but it is, right? Exactly. So if whatever if it's in your body, treat it. If it's in your mind. So when we talk about the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, and all of that, it's the fruit of the Spirit, but it is your mind that expresses, those things. So, and your brain is very much involved. There's what called neurotransmitters, and all of that. If there is not enough, for instance, for depression, the major neurotransmitter that is faulty is serotonin. And if it's not enough, or if it's not enough, basically, your brain is not producing enough and all of that, you need extra. If serotonin is not complete, there's joy in your spirit, you are born again, the fruit is there. Absolutely. But it cannot come out. So, and this is not... The power of God to heal is in the supernatural. It's also in the therapy room. Absolutely. It's also in antidepressants. And I'm not saying this, and please don't just go and pop pills and all of that. Let it be a doctor that prescribes. And it's not everybody that necessarily needs it. Some people just talk therapy would deal with it. Some people need, because of that depletion in, the serotonin level and all of that, they may need, additional, they may need antidepressants, basically. But the point I'm trying to make is, whatever you need to do to make sure that my assignment is done, do it. So that's
powerful. And, it's powerful because I share this. It was like she was in service last week. And those who are on the Man Up Coaching Program, remember those hormones, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Now, when I share this, what you've shared with some people, sometimes they feel like, oh, you've not been abused, not been raped, say, pastor, this, that. But I'm happy to hear it from you, because you've been through the process. Stuff has been done to your body and consequently your mind and your brain. And this is the pathway there's a pathway to recovery, right? And it's beyond the crying or the wailing or the jumping over. The work that needs to be done needs to be done, right? So sometimes we also allow what has happened to us to become our excuse. But I think the way you might remember it, maybe for the rest of your life, is this. Your body is the vehicle for your purpose. You've heard me say that before. Your body is the vehicle for your purpose. Your mind is a software that powers that. Now, if you're driving on Third Mainland Bridge, let's say it's night, God forbid, and your car breaks down, a tire breaks down, something breaks down. Let's not say Third Mainland Bridge. Anyway, during the day, let's reduce the tension level. Your car breaks down. Are you going to feel sad?
Yes.
Are you likely to feel sort of anxious? Yes. Will you be a little worried? Yes. Depending on where it is, maybe more than a little worried, tempted to be. But do you then abandon the car? Do you just stay in the car and sit in the car and be crying in the car? What do? Call for help.
Yes.
It's the same thing when there's damage done to our bodies or our minds or our emotions. The call for help. And that's because we know that there is somebody who's been equipped.
Yes.
Trained. Sometimes you don't even call for help because you know what's going on. The water is finishing the radiator. So you wait for the car to calm down, right? And don't rush the process, because it's happened to me before. The radiator was overheating. I put water, the thing splashed.
Yes.
So sometimes when you've gone through stuff, just calm down first, right? Just relax. Everybody, look at anybody, say, just calm down.
Just calm down.
And tell the person, that's a Rema right there. Yeah, somebody can get it, they'll get it later. So, good morning. Yeah, so because our bodies have a science to them.
Yes.
And they can be fixed. All right, so let's take a couple of questions here.